أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وصحبه وبارك وسلم أما بعد. My honored beloved brothers and sisters, Jama'at al-Muslimin, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this, the final Jumu'ah khutbah of the month of Ramadan 2020. A month in which extraordinary things happen and still is happening. The lockdown and all the other consequences and implications of that. But first and foremost, before we launch into this Jummah talk proper, I would like to take a moment to pay respects to a beloved member of the Azhar Mosque, Dr. Fuad Hamildin, who in the week celebrated his 90th birthday, mashallah. May Allah grant him a happy birthday, or had a happy birthday, inshallah, all the best for the future. And also, as Dr. Fuad was admitted to hospital also this week, we make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant Dr. Fuad a speedy recovery, shifa, comfort for him, easy for doctor and for the family. Have a wonderful day, Dr. Fuad. And the second person I would like to pay respect and tribute is Nasib Hamildin, the eldest son of Sheikh Shakir, our Ustad, Allahumma alayhi. May Allah grant him the Jannah, inshaAllah. Nasib had to relinquish his position as the chairman of the Masjid, Al-Azhar Masjid Committee, due to ill health. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him shifa, may Allah grant him comfort and sabr in the hearts of his family. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him all the success, inshaAllah. Go well, Nasif, inshaAllah. Brothers and sisters, before long, we are going to say, inshaAllah, farewell, wida, to this month of Ramadan. Farewell to a true and trusted friend. We are going to say farewell under extraordinary circumstances which you are in, and is probably still going to be in. A friend, Ramadan, who gave us, and still giving us his last few days, inshallah, the opportunity to engage in a self-analysis, a self-conference. As we say in the Arabic, a shahr hisab, a month of reckoning, a month of accountability. This is what the month of Ramadan has given us the opportunity to do. And so, of course, the dictum of the Quran, as Allah says to us concerning Ramadan, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. May your taqwa, your iman, your vibrancy, your skills, your trust, your morality, your iman, may it develop with your effort. So the question we have in front of us, how committed were we to have engaged this time, or this true friend of Ramadan in this time, by means of the ibadah of song? Do we consider ourselves to have grown and developed since we entered the Institute of Ramadan? Do we consider ourselves in a better position now as when we entered Ramadan? These are the questions that we have to now start asking ourselves, coming to the end. Have we developed and have we cultivated a consciousness, a moral consciousness, a trust, the iman in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Have we cultivated and developed the beautiful manner of sabr, patience, perseverance? as the Rasul ﷺ says to us, Al-Siyam nisfu sabr, that the Sawm, the ibadah of Sawm, is half of sabr. Was-sabr nisfu al-iman, and the patience half of trust. Each one can answer for themselves in terms of how we have engaged and busied ourselves in the month of Ramadan. And brothers and sisters, we know that Ramadan and the ibadah of Sawm is a priceless gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and can never ever be from humanity. All the world's brains and scientists come together, they would never ever have thought out the brilliance of this manner of Sawm in terms of its unending benefits to the human species. But do we fully realize this? Do we realize, the wisdom in an Arabic idiom, an Arabic saying, so beautiful, where it goes something like this: Ad-dunya mazra'atul akhirah. That the dunya, this existence, is a plantation for the akhirah. Isn't that beautiful? In other words, what we plant here, what we cultivate here, is what we are going to reap in that crop in the akhirah. And of course, within the context of our talk in Ramadan, may that we have cultivated, have planted, may we reap the benefits thereof, insha'Allah. At the time, in the next level of existence, or wherever, but the time when we need it the most, insha'Allah. And it all depends on how our engagement was with the ibadah of Sawm in the frame of Ramadan. And of course, brothers and sisters, in Ramadan, we are intensely and acutely introduced to the concept of empathy, sharing and giving. And, with the Al-Azhar and all the other organizations, the projects of feeding, parcels, etc., that feeling of happiness to see someone being grateful that you're doing it in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ta'awun, the cooperation, the help for your fellow human beings. And that is why you will find when people start earnestly and sincerely on this feeding and giving and sharing schemes, they don't want to stop, because that is a moment of true and sincere happiness. May our brothers and sisters, inshallah, may they continue with us, inshallah. Brothers and sisters, we have also come to realize, most acutely in Ramadan, especially under these extraordinary circumstances, the basic need for socialization. Because as human beings, we are a social being. We need togetherness. But we are deprived of it due to this dangerous situation. And so with the divine rukun of Sawm, how have we cultivated in us a purpose to handle it and a methodology to handle it? And by that way, this concept of empathy became probably more pronounced in our daily lives. And may we carry this on, this empathy, true empathy, beyond the frame of Ramadan, insha'Allah. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to us, وَتَعَاوُنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوُنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. That your cooperation should be towards goodness, Ramadan, what we did the deeds, وَتَقْوَى, building up that collective ethos, and not towards ithm, sin, transgression, and enmity. That was the last thing on our minds. So, have we realized that the Institute of Ramadan, by means of the ibadah of Sawm, has also taught us to firstly break down walls of discrimination, all forms. And haven't we done that? the feeding, the giving, the sharing, no matter what your background or whatever. The breakdown also of theological apartheid walls reminds me a lot as a kid when I grew up in District 6, where we used to celebrate whatever religious days there are in the neighborhood, where the streets, can say, were the passages and the houses were the rooms. In other words, you were at home anywhere. That was the ethos of togetherness. Where the Friday morning we sat in the chapel and the Friday afternoon we sat in the masjid. That didn't make us lesser Muslims or lesser this or lesser that. And once again, especially in the world of human world we have today, Ramadan serves that purpose, to break down these theological apartheid walls, to look at people as being part of the one universal family of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to us in Surah Hujurat, Ya ayyuhan nas, take note, not Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, although Surah Hujurat is a Madani surah, but Ya ayyuhan nas, O humanity, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha, that you have been created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to males and females. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made us into nations and communities. Why? لِتَعَارَفُوا, so that you may know one another in the positive sense. You may cooperate one another. You may learn from one another. Where you realize the beauty of the unity in diversity of the human race. This is what Islam is all about. And this is what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says to us. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. That none of you have truly developed that moral consciousness, that trust, until that which you love for yourself is that which you love. Is that which you love for your brother? Is that which you love for yourself? Universal brotherhood and sisterhood. Universal human family. And of course, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to us, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ. That verily, without a shadow of doubt, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that honors humanity, Bani Adam, وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ, and carries them through the land and the sea. In other words, Allah gives us the resources that we manage to advance in life. That we live with a better perspective or more advanced perspective today, the 21st century, as what we lived in the 19th century, the 18th century, to whatever 6th, 7th, 8th century ago, and so forth. Humanity. And therefore, just to quote also Paul McCartney, where he says, anytime you devalue people, you question the creators or the Almighty's creation of them. And he says that this is what Ramadan has taught us. That empathy, that togetherness. And especially in these extraordinary times. Brothers and sisters, the Institute of Ramadan and the time we have spent in it has in fact given us the opportunity to educate and of course re-educate ourselves of the social contract that every human being is required to fulfill towards his fellow human being and towards the environment. And that is the development or the further growth of social empathy to add value, that togetherness, that ta'awun, universal human family, universal empathy. This is Ramadan. This is by the ibadah of Sawm. Because in this way, Ramadan teaches us acutely and intensely that human society, wherever they may find themselves, in their communities, will then start to move away from the cold, dark spaces of stagnation, in which breeds cruelty, greed, arrogance, fear, and all the detrimental spin-offs, as we see. The toxicity that we see today in this dunya. So, brothers and sisters, we have for a month long been given the opportunity to intensely empower ourselves with the enlightenment of true guidance. So as we now proceed, insha'Allah, to emerge, to exit from Ramadan, and as Ramadan 2020, 1441, prepares to say farewell to us, because this Ramadan will never ever return again. May Allah grant us more Ramadans, but this one is busy saying farewell to us. And as we say farewell to each other, and as we have allowed ourselves to become true and sincere friends, and now the parting comes, let us truly listen to the lessons that Ramadan leaves behind for us, the eternal lessons, as by way of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam teaches us, where the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says to us, as we start to prepare to emerge out of this Ramadan, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says to us, ahabbul a'mal ila Allah, the most loved activities, actions, deeds in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, adwamuha in qalla, adwamuha daiman, continuous. The most loved deeds in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that those deeds that are continuous in qalla, even if it is a little small. In other words, even if it's small, but keep on, keep on. It is the same ilah we have submitted to in Ramadan that we submit to after Ramadan, inshallah. Let us keep on with those deeds, even perhaps not on that vibrant basis because of other actions or activities or duties, whatever, but let it keep on, even if it's little or on a low level, inshallah. And as Allah says to us, reminding ourselves of our time on this dunya, Qul, tell them, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inform them, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Qul mata'ud dunya qaleel, that the enjoyment of this dunya is but very short, it's but very little. It's like taking a piece of a best food, nice taste, a morsel of food, putting it on your tongue. The taste is on your tongue, once you swallow, the taste is gone. Wal akhirah, and the next level of existence, khayrun liman ittaqa, it is much better for those who have built up their taqwa, their yaqeen, their steadfastness. وَلَا تُظْلَمُونَ فَتِيلًا, and be sure Allah says, you will not be treated unjustly in terms of a date split, meaning in terms of an atom. Of course, we can understand the revelation of the eye in 7th century Arabia. The date pit in that society was regarded as very, very small. Today we say the atom, very symbolic. So therefore, brothers and sisters, the Institute of Ramadan, via the curriculum of Sawm, then, in the final analysis, as we're nearing the end, it is actually once again that we have been taught, if we wanted to heed the lessons, we have been taught what it is to be a human being, what humanity is all about. And given this opportunity of our education, in Ramadan. It is an education to look, to move, in order to take back and reinvest in our human identity. Insha'Allah, brothers and sisters, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our tawbah and efforts, forgive us our wrongdoings, and may, as we're slowly moving towards emerging from Ramadan, may we continue now and continue our commitment to serve humanity, insha'Allah, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jummah Mubarak to each and everyone. Shukran. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.